Hey, good people, how you doing? David Taub here, co-creator of NextLevelGuitar.com. Hope all is well, and I hope your guitar journeys are going famously. And today we have another installment of Guitar Gab, and this is where we talk about all things guitar, music, gear, lessons, whatever it is you want to know, and I pull content for these sessions based on you. That's right, based on you, the good people. You email me in your suggestions or just put a comment in the YouTube comment box below. Put a comment in on anything that you would like to talk about. What we're going to bring to you is a list of about 18 things that guitar players, musicians, we feel are very important to keep in mind. I don't want to say like must know list, you know, these are things that you must know. And instead of must know, let's think of a better name. Maybe 18 things that you should consider. How's that? I think that would be good. It probably won't make for a spicy title, but 18 things that you should consider, and I've amassed this list from a big list of things. I had to really whittle it down to get down to 18. Why 18? I don't know. Just seemed like a good place to stop. And I think these tips will help you along in your journey, and things you should definitely consider. Some of them will be about the art of playing guitar. Some of them will be about maybe life and life goals. Some of them will be about music, and some will be about bands and relationships in that way. So let's get started with this list. They're in no particular order. I think they're all of equal importance. And if you would like some more lessons that are not on YouTube, totally for free, click on that link in the YouTube description box, and I will send you some free video lessons, some ebooks, all for free from Next Level Guitar. Things that'll help you along in your guitar journey. And I think you'll like them. So just click on that link. It really helps us too. If you put a comment in the comment box, or maybe if you subscribe to our YouTube videos, that really helps us to be able to keep bringing the content and to keep bringing the lessons. So if you wouldn't mind, click on the link or subscribe to us. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. So I thought I would start off this list of things to consider, or that every guitar player should consider, with some things specifically about guitar playing and learning the instrument. And the first thing is, have a structured plan. That's so important. Have a well-rounded musical education. You really want to have a structured plan with identifiable goals based on what you want to learn, based on the music that you want to play, based on what you need to know as a player. And where a good teacher, whether it be a private teacher or a good instructional program like we have at nextlevelguitar.com, will have is a structured plan. And you really want to follow that plan, set tangible goals that you can measure, and that will keep you moving forward in your guitar journey. So have that structured plan. If you're into guitar soloing, it's not just everything about guitar solos and guitar soloing and technique and whatnot. That's all great stuff, but don't forget about your rhythm playing. Your rhythm playing is so critical. So one really important thing is be good at your rhythm playing, work hard at it, know how to play in time, work with a metronome. But your rhythm playing is critical because most of the time if you're playing with a band, jamming with other people, you're playing rhythm guitar 90% of the time. Solos are very small sections of songs. You know, in the end, the song will be remembered. You know, you could have the most ripping guitar solo known to man. If it's in a really crappy song, no one's going to remember that, right? You're going to remember the song. So, as well as you're playing rhythm so much, unless you're in like a jam band or something like that with just extended solos that go on forever, you know. Don't neglect your rhythm playing. I guess that's the best, what I was trying to say. It's so critical. And in my opinion, I think your lead playing, because we're playing rhythm so much, I think your lead playing will only really ever be as good as your rhythm playing. So don't neglect it. And speaking of rhythm playing and soloing, another thing I think is critical is know the chords for what you're soloing on top of when you're practicing over a jam track, when you're playing or writing music, when you're creating, or when you're soloing with your band, or when you're playing at home. Two big things I think really help students is always know what key you're playing in. Even if you're just sitting there noodling around on the guitar, it really helps. Just know what key you're in. And also, always know what chords you're soloing over. So many times I get students, whether it be through my private lessons or questions, and the first thing, well, what chord, they ask me, what can I solo in this key? It's like the key is only part of it. You really want to know the chords. It's the chords that give you the full roadmap to what you can use soloing and improvisational wise. Not just the key, that's only a part. Another really good point for your consideration is I think it's important to learn a little bit of music theory And I know a lot of people totally won't agree with that, but personally, I think it's important. I'm not saying you have to have a black belt in music theory and it should supersede actually getting your hands and playing on the guitar. And I'm not saying learn all these abstract things. You certainly could if you want to. But I think what music theory does is it helps you along in your journey, and it gets you to certain levels and places faster. It helps you being able to understand things, especially even from a songwriting perspective. It'll point you in the right chords if you know how to build chords and what chords, what notes make up certain chords, and knowing the notes on the neck even. These are things that are just, I think, absolutely critical, especially the knowing the notes on the neck part of it. I think knowing a little bit of theory is really important. It will give you that language of music, and you'll be able to communicate better too with other musicians, and it will really help you along on the journey. So I think it's well worth it getting a little bit of music theory, a little bit under your belt. For me, it's all about the sounds. You know, everything that it's a very audio-wise thing, right? It's all about the sounds we're creating and the moods we're creating, the emotions, the textures. It's all about the sound. So I think what's really important, especially for you lead guitar players, is studying the relationships between chords and scales. That really, really helped me early on in my journey. And I think it's something that every guitar player can benefit from. If you start to study that relationship, if you even just ring out like an open, you know, E chord, and then just start playing some scales over the top of it, different scales, and find what sounds best to your ears, what turns you on, right? What makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, right? Study that relationship. Play a chord, let it ring, or just put a track down that's wide open, maybe just one or two chords, and then try different things. Try some modal scales. Try playing, you know, ringing out a chord and then playing a major scale over it, playing a natural minor scale over it, playing Mixolydian mode over it, playing Dorian, Phrygian dominant. Seeing what you like and what sounds best to your ears. What scales sound great over seventh chords. What modes sound great over, you know, major chords, minor chords. It's so important, and it will really help you along, especially in your soloing journey. Most guitar players kind of first start by learning some pentatonic scales, minor pentatonic scale, major pentatonic scales, and that's a great way to start. But a lot of times I find that guitar players kind of stop once they kind of master the pentatonics. And, you know, they know those 5 positions and the expanded scales up and down the neck, and then that's it. But I think there's great value in going to the next step after that and learning your major scales and learning your natural minor scales and learning the modes of the major scales, because that really opens up the doors to so many other options. Obviously, the pentatonic scales are awesome. They're the most widely used scales in most genres of music. But, you know, you don't want to limit yourself. So take the extra time to learn some other scales besides just the pentatonics. And a good place to start is with, you know, major scales, natural minor scales, and the modes of the major scales. It will really open up the doors for you. And yes, it's more work, but it's incredibly invaluable. So learn the pentatonics, yes, but keep going. Don't stop there. Another thing that I'm sure all other musicians except guitar players will also agree on is for us guitar players, is know where your volume knob is and also know how to use it. In case you don't know, that would be this knob on this guitar right here. And you turn that actually from the full on position, it actually is a potentiometer, and you can actually turn down, right? And make the volume in your guitar less. Wow, interesting concept, huh? I'm kind of being sarcastic, but you know, most other musicians, usually probably 8 out of 10 will say, you know, guitar players have this thing with volume and they always got to be blasting. So take into consideration that you want to play at a level that's equal, that's a good mix, again, where the music, the song is going to stand out, not necessarily just the guitar, and you're drowning everyone out and potentially damaging your ears. So know when your guitar is in tune and out of tune. It's crazy. I go hear bands a lot. I'm a big fan of live music, and so many times I hear guitar players playing and their guitar is out of tune, and a lot of times it's way out of tune, and they just keep going on their way, and it could sound a lot better, I think, if you kind of take the time, you know what it sounds like when your guitar is out of tune, and you're able to tune it quickly and silently, especially if you're playing on stage. That's another thing, man. That's really annoying when you're sitting there and you're in the audience and you hear someone da 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 da, and they're tuning the guitar loud, where everyone could hear it. You want to know how to keep your guitar. It sounds, this probably sounds like, oh yeah, just skip this, go on to the next one. No, everyone knows. Everyone might know this, but I'm telling you, I hear this all the time when I go out with guitar players. You know, get a tuner, and most tuners, you can hook them up into your system where you can put them on silent, where it kills your sound except what's going into the tuner, so you could tune silently. It makes it more professional. Another thing to consider, I think, is critically important, is to develop your ear. And it's something that I think, as tablature has become more and more readily available, especially as the internet has developed over the past X amount of years, and it's so readily available to get it, it's kind of something where we've become dependent on it, I think, a little bit too much. Identify chords and notes and sounds and moods, and to really develop your ear and to practice at it, to start to learn how to play songs and figure them out by developing your ear. It takes a lot of work and time, and you know, but it has huge benefits and will help you so much. So keep developing that ear. Moving on now to some other aspects of guitar and music and band situations and whatnot, is I think something really important to consider is to choose your bandmates wisely. And you know, in my opinion, I think it's important to kind of, when you're looking for bandmates, is picking people who to play with in your band, who you would want to hang out with. A lot of it is about the interpersonal relationships of these people that you're going to be choosing. It's not necessarily just about talent and choose the most talented person for the position, because if they turn out to be a total jerk, it's not fun. Who's going to want to play with them? And it's going to end up not working. So choose your bandmates wisely and choose them, you know, people that you want to hang out with, people that you want to spend time with. And it will really help those relationships last longer. And talking about bands and whatnot, I think it's important to try to set yourself up, especially at first, to be the weaker link in the chain amongst the musicians in the band, because that's how you're going to learn and grow. You know, if you're in a band and you're always like the best by far player in the band, I mean, where are you going to go from there? What are you going to learn? You learn so much from playing with other people. Maybe that's how I should have worded this part of things to consider, is get out there and play with other people. Get out there and do it. Play with other people. You learn so much, right, from that. And be the weaker link in the chain. So when you go out there, look for players that are above your level a little bit, you know, where you are that weaker link in the chain. It'll really push you to getting your shit together. It'll really push you to getting to that next level. And being the weaker link in the chain, man, you're going to grow and learn so much. It's so much better than always being the best in the band always. So get out there and do it. Get out of the basement. Stop bands that are just forever playing in their basement. Get out there and play in front of other people. Take that leap of faith, man. You can do it. Something to consider about guitar and life in general is, you know, set some goals and then go out there and achieve them, right? You know, and want it really bad. It's so important. You got to really, you know, this takes a lot of work, a lot of hard work, and a lot of dedication. But the rewards are limitless, and you'll be playing guitar and enjoying it for the rest of your life, right? Anything worthwhile takes a lot of work, no matter, you know, what art you're doing, or no matter what career you're choosing. It takes a lot of work. This is hard work, but so worth it. And the thing is, you know, go after your goals, go after your dreams like your life depends on it. Because really it does, right? So get out there and do it. Want it really bad. Go after your goals. So let's see, that's about 16 points that every guitar player should consider. Perhaps consider them. You know, that's kind of a cool thing I say a lot, like when I'm trying to bring up a certain opinion or tell someone I don't want to be off-putting to somebody, right? And I usually say, you know, perhaps consider this, blah, blah, blah. Try that. It works really well. Perhaps consider. Who's going to argue with that? Perhaps consider. So perhaps consider these. I think that's about 16. I have about 2 left. And they're more just about, you know, personal relationships within music and life. And one of them in the music world is be nice. You know what I mean? There's enough jerks in this industry. And I'll tell you, man, nobody is irreplaceable. So you got to check your ego at the door, you know? And so much more will come to you in so many ways if you're just nice. Say yes to everything, right? Don't be a jerk. You know, consider your bandmates. Consider the people that live with you if you're playing instruments loud. And, you know, when working with other people in the industry, in this industry, you're going to run into a lot of people who aren't so nice, right? And I always just say, I'm always nice no matter what. You know, in the end, I think more will come to you in that way. You put that nicety out there, you'll get it back tenfold. And like I was saying before, especially with bands and stuff, you're spending so much time off stage with the people that you're surrounding yourself with. Nobody wants to hang out and play with someone who's a real jerk. So much about this is the interpersonal relationships. And the last thing to keep in mind, I think, is that in this business it's not just about talent. And I know you probably know that, right? Unless you're some guitar prodigy, unless you're the next coming of Eddie Van Halen or Stevie Ray Vaughan or Jimi Hendrix, a lot more goes into this than just talent. And just look at the top of a lot of the music charts right now. A lot of empty musical calories up there, right? But unfortunately, that's the way it is. It's not just it's not just about talent. You need to have other skills too to help you along. Talent alone doesn't guarantee success, in my opinion, right? A lot also has to do with things like, having good business sense, being able to, because this is a business for many of this. I'm not talking if you just want to sit there and play on your porch or something, but if you're looking to, get into a band and play locally or play larger, or if you're a singer-songwriter or, and you're looking to take this to the next level or get into a career of it, it's not just necessarily all about talent. You wish it was, but it isn't, Image is important too. I kind of hate to say that, but it's true. Again, take a look at what's up at the top of the charts, right? Image is important. Having a good business sense is important. Surrounding yourself with people who are going to make good business decisions, who are really looking out for, your best interest musically and career-wise. These are all important things to consider. Having talent is incredibly important, yes. But, often, again, if you look at the charts, it's the most lamest, most compromised stuff that seems to rise to the top, those empty musical calories, That's just the way it is. So, be smart about it, and just know that. And you probably already do know that. You probably already know some of these other things that I was mentioning. I try to make this list kind of comprehensive if you were just starting your journey, or even if you were a little bit further along, right? So that's about 18 things. 18 things that you should perhaps consider along in your guitar or musical journey. I hope they helped you. And certainly if you have any other ones, suggestions or whatnot, put it in the YouTube comment box below. Put a comment down there if you want to hear me do a video on another topic. Let me know what you want to learn about, or what you want to hear me talk about, or what you would like to discuss, whether it be gear, whether it be lessons, whether it be stuff like this, whatever. I'm open to it, and this is where we're pulling content for these sessions. I'm David Taub, co-creator of nextlevelguitar.com. Thanks so much for joining us. Again, it really helps us if you can click on that subscribe button, subscribe to our YouTube videos here at Rock On Good People. We'll let you know when we have more stuff coming out here. And also, helps us if you can click on that link in the YouTube description box. I'll send you some free stuff, no strings is attached, so to speak, right? Some free lessons, free ebook. All you have to do is just click on that link and, fill out the page. Stay tuned for more great stuff. Again, we so appreciate your support. We so appreciate you interacting with us, whether it be through email, through comments, or through buying our instructional products, or being a member at our website. If you haven't been there yet, go to the website, nextlevelguitar.com. It's a complete structured guitar curriculum from A to Z. All levels of player, beginner, intermediate, advanced. All genres of music we cover. And there's something there for everyone. We have now, I just added another 20 lessons this morning. I'm going to add another 20 more tomorrow. Probably soon we'll have about 16. It will be up to about 1,650 lessons. There's a 3-day free pass right on the homepage. Just click start your free trial now. We don't ask you for a credit card. And you could give the site a good test drive. You might really like it. It might help you in your journey. I've taught tens of thousands of students all over the world through that website. It's a lot of fun too. So again, thank you so much. Keep on rocking. And remember, your guitar playing is an evolution. Stay positive. And remember, my motivational rock, you can do it! All right, take care, folks. Keep on rocking.